4 of the firearms that disappeared from the Norwood Police Station have been found in the hands of criminals. eNCA can now reveal they were discovered at 2 separate crime scenes in Gauteng and the North West province. A police officer was killed during an incident in Brakpan last month. Senior reporter Barry Bateman has this exclusive for us, and he joins us now. So, Barry, the minister's confirmed the firearms at Brakpan linked to Norwood, but this speaks to a bigger issue then of corruption within the police ranks. What exactly has he said?
Yeah, good afternoon, Sally. You're quite right. First off, the Minister has confirmed what eNCA has been reporting over the last 2 days, that those firearms recovered at the 2 crime scenes have been linked to an investigation at Norwood. But we was questioned about this, and what he spoke about is he acknowledged that they have got bad cops within their ranks. And he even referred to the matter of Charles Kenya, which he was murdered for his investigations into the provision of firearms from the police to organized criminals. Now, here we've got a case where firearms were found in the possession of cash-in-transit heist suspects. He says that within their ranks they've got dirty police officers, corrupt police officers who are undermining the very systems that are supposed to uphold the law. And these are the people that are providing the weapons to the criminals. And here we've got a full circle, haven't we, that those firearms have come back and have resulted in the death of the policeman. Of course, that constable that was murdered in that shootout with those suspects in Brakpan. The minister saying he acknowledges the problem and it is something that they are trying to deal with. And we've actually heard this from the minister over the years, how he simply will not tolerate corruption within their ranks. But I think we want to see more action taken against these kinds of individuals.
All right, so let's just take a listen to a clip that we have lined up.
Just to give you the overarching understanding of policing. I was in National Commission in 2010. I had 192,000 police, and we had a 50 million population of South Africa. Now I'm the minister. We have 182,000, and we have 60 million. So that takes you straight to the proportionality of the police vis-a-vis the population. So we can go deeper in different components of the police to say one major problem of policing definitely is a budget, and having to increase the police vis-a-vis the population.
All right, so Barry, just put that soundbite from the minister in context for us.
Well, what we understand is that he was talking about the budget of the SAPS and what goes into being able to address the various levels of crime in the country. Of course, this was in a wide-ranging interview by my colleague Masego Rahaha on policing, and there was a whole discussion about what has just taken place. The big story in the last month, Sally, of course, we had all those riots down in KwaZulu-Natal and, of course, up here in Gauteng. And the reaction of the police. The minister was going into some detail as well about how they have been criticized, that police were standing idle and not doing anything. But he was talking about how this issue, this balance, and we've heard it before, of saving lives. You don't want to go into a place where the police are outnumbered, but they get into a confrontation where they've only got sharp ammunition, and you'll end up with the loss of life. So it's one of those aspects that he was discussing. But of course, we have heard this before. But he does say this issue of public order policing, it is something that was raised, and we in this month of August, of course, where we remember those lives lost in Marikana, which was a failure of public order policing. He's raised that particular issue as well as coming to the fore during riots that we've seen recently.
Barry, how many firearms are we talking about here? I mean, there was a point made in your piece, that your exclusive that you put together yesterday, that we don't know if Norwood is just one case or one case of many, that there may be many corrupt officers around the country who are accessing the store, the evidence store, and being paid to give out these firearms.
Sally, that's the big question. I think that's the difficult question that the Hawks are seized with at the moment. There is an intensive audit of the Norwood SAP store underway to establish exactly how many firearms are missing, because they don't know. The store, as I understand it, speaking to my sources, is in such disarray. It's not as simply as easy as taking the 4 firearms that they've discovered and linking them to a register and then seeing whether the others on that register are still there, because there is insufficient record keeping. But you're quite right, this is not a unique. I was speaking to Paul Oxley from Gun Owners SA yesterday. He said, we look at Norwood Police Station, this cannot be unique. This is just a drop in the ocean because it's probably happening at stations throughout the country. But Minister Barry Bateman went onto this particular issue and he was addressing it. He says, he acknowledges they've got a problem at their SAPS 13 stores. And it's not just firearms that's going missing. He was quite candid about this. He says it's drugs as well. So we've got this issue of corrupt police officers within the system, poor command and control of the leadership who are not ensuring that the necessary policies and procedures are being followed within these stores to ensure that corrupt elements cannot exploit them.
So, Barry, where is all of this going? Obviously the police are investigating. But how soon are we going to get a handle on this? Because surely public trust in the police is eroding the longer this question remains unanswered.
It's a difficult question, Sally, because it's not a new issue that we are dealing with here. Corruption within the ranks of the SAPS have been going on, for as long as I've been reporting on crime matters and the SAPS. The question is issues of accountability. Are we seeing enough of the police officers who are implicated in wrongdoing and corruption being held accountable, whether at a disciplinary level within the organization or, in a case such as the one we're dealing with here, a criminal matter, take them to the courts and prosecute them accordingly. And of course, there's also accountability level. So where there is a failure within the ranks of the SAPS on this command and control issue, are those senior police officers being held to account? You speak to an organization like the Institute for Security Studies, who does a lot of great work analyzing what's happening in the SAPS, and they'll tell you that it's simply not happening.
All right, Barry Bateman, thank you so much for chasing up such an important story and bringing us the very latest news on that.